Hey,
Hello.
hey,
It's two of us today. Hey.
yeah, hey.
Greer, I'm gonna do something somewhat controversial today. I'm gonna pimp another podcast.
Why would you do that?
Well, 'cause I have a little something called integrity, and if I'm really being honest, I would rather the population of both the UK and the US and Canada, which I believe is our listenership.
It's the only countries that matter.
The only countries that matter, yeah, the English-speaking countries, apart from Australia, because they're all thugs. Cut that.
According to you guys.
Yeah, edit that out. Edit that out. I'm gonna pimp another podcast because I believe that between both of our podcasts, the public should really be listening to theirs. It's called Welcome to Night Vale, and it's really wonderful.
Tumblr has been talking about that show nonstop for about the past 2 to 3 months.
Well,
Every post I see from everybody I know, I'm like, oh, what is that? Oh, it's that Night Vale thing.
So tell me, what is your understanding of it?
I know it's like the Twilight Zone, but if it was in a podcast.
Yeah, the Twilight Zone or Twin Peaks.
The Twilight Zone with like a gay relationship or something? Is that a thing in there too?
The gay relationship is really lovely. It's a great love story, but it isn't the only thing. It's kind of it's sort of an undercurrent of the entire show. I mean, what it is it's set up as a radio broadcast presented by this kind of sweet, slightly pretentious guy. And it's a community radio station, and it's just sort of slowly revealed that the town is this kind of strange sort of Twin Peaks-esque universe, and more kind of weirdness is kind of let out. And a scientist comes to town that it's sort of revealed that he has fallen completely in love with, and that's the story. And it's fucking brilliant. It's funny. It's satirical, it's clever, it's entertaining, it's got great music, it's got kick-ass music.
Mm-hmm.
I seriously, like, if there's a soundtrack, I'm going to buy it. I've listened to the first 12 episodes. Keep in mind, they're, each 20 minutes long, so that's, quite a fair old chunk of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I only discovered it at about midnight last night.
Uh-huh.
So that's,
So you've been up all night.
No, not quite. I went to bed at around 2, and I woke up at about 20 to 11. Which, by the way, that's England time.
Yeah. Yeah, I just keep hearing about it, and, like, every single one of my friends has just been, like, yelling at me to listen to it, and I'm like, I'll get around to it.
Things, the more people pimp things to you, and the more highly they recommend them, the less you want to.
The more I put them off. It's not that the more I don't want to listen or listen to it. It's just like the more somebody pimps something to me, or we say that word too much. The more somebody tells me about something, the more I put it off.
Well, I think it's because, it's that combination of, one, worrying that you're not going to like it, and two, that kind of vague irritation of people not shutting up about something you know nothing about.
Yeah, kind of.
It's annoying.
The only thing I didn't really do that with was, like some anime that I've been watching lately. Like a bunch of them that I just heard about, and I'm like, that sounds good, I'll immediately watch it.
I know what you mean. I was talking to a guy about Hannibal and Bates Motel last night, and I immediately went home and watched a load of Bates Motel. Bates Motel is brilliant, by the way. I got into 2 new fandoms in one night. I'm incredibly proud of that.
Good job.
Good job, right? Good nerdy job.
Have you watched Hannibal yet?
No, I haven't watched Hannibal yet, but that is next on my list.
Yeah.
Between having a life.
No one on Tumblr talks about Bates Motel. Everybody talks about Hannibal.
Yeah, I know. I suck. We were just talking about anime, which does bring us on to a very sad piece of news that I imagine you probably want to share.
Miyazaki's retiring, And it sucks. Even though he's said multiple times that he's like, after this movie, I'm gonna retire, and then he makes another movie, and then he's like, after this movie, I'm gonna retire, and then he makes another movie. But I'm pretty sure, like, this time it's for real.
And what makes you say that?
Because, like everyone in the team is like, no, really, he's done.
I mean, how old is he?
He's like 75 or something. He's old. And he's been in the industry. He's had like a 50-year plus career.
Yeah, I mean,
out of the 70 plus years he's been living.
That's probably longer than Walt Disney, right?
Yeah. Walt Disney wasn't in the industry for well, mainly he'd be in the industry longer if he was still alive right now, but
yeah, absolutely. But I mean, you know, presumably Studio Ghibli will carry on.
Like his art team is still gonna be there, his animation team. So I mean, like, the art and the art design is still going to be the same. It's still going to look like a Miyazaki film. But I think there will be no doubt that people will see the film that will come after, you know, him not being there anymore and say, there's a difference with this. There's something different about this one.
Yeah, I mean, different doesn't necessarily... I mean, I'm not saying this to you because you know this, but, you know, for our listenership, different, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean worse. I mean... For instance, and this may have something to do with the fact that I grew up with them, but the first Muppet film made after Jim Henson died was Muppet Christmas Carol, and I think that's the best Muppet movie.
It's great.
It's great. I think it's got the most heart. I think it's got the best songs. I think it's the funniest. I think it's the one that, and again, this may be something to do with being of a certain generation, but for me, that is the one that will kind of go down in my memory as a kind of perfect, authentic Muppet movie, but it's incredibly different to the first few.
Your favorite Muppet movie until the next one comes out?
Well, the next one has Ricky Gervais.
So it's obviously going to be the best.
It's obviously going to be the best because it has Ricky Gervais. I should point out, to those of you that don't know, me and Greer, whilst it might not be popular opinion, both love Ricky Gervais. Am I right?
Is that an unpopular opinion?
Oh, that is such an unpopular opinion. People hate him now. People think he's an asshole.
Really? My mom really likes him, too. My mom was watching extras the other day. Like, yesterday, she was watching, like, they were marathoning extras on, like, Stars or whatever channel they show it on here. Okay. And, she was watching it, like, all day.
It's fucking funny, extras. Actually, interestingly enough, Simon Pegg recently went on record saying that he would have liked another 2 series of The Office because it would have saved us 2 series of extras, so clearly he's not a fan. In his opinion, the David Bowie clip was just Ricky Gervais saying, "Look at me, I know David Bowie." Which, you know, there may be an element of truth in that. I mean, I don't know Ricky Gervais, but, you know, that's not outside
the... He seems like a cool guy. He's, like, always giving charity and...
Yeah,
people don't like him because he's kind of one of those asshole atheists.
Yeah, I mean, and he is an asshole atheist.
But that's why I like him.
Yeah, I mean, well, me and Greer, again, for those of you that don't know, are both sort of fervent atheists. But yeah, I mean, I like, I don't have a problem with how militant Ricky Gervais is, and he doesn't say that Christians are stupid. He says that he thinks what they believe is kind of nuts. Mm-hmm. Which...
He's not forcing anything on anybody. That's the thing.
It's not. Although, I mean, that's a really interesting sort of way, because, I mean, lots of Christians will say, well, I'm not forcing my opinions on everyone. Lots of atheists will say, anyone really with a kind of militant belief. Mm-hmm. So I'm not forcing my opinions on anyone. I suppose you can't, short of mass genocide, really force your opinion on anyone, but you can breathe down people's necks to the point.
I think the best thing Ricky Gervais does, though, is his, just out of everything he's done, the best thing is the bathtub pictures.
Oh, the bathtub pictures are fucking hilarious.
It's better than The Office.
Infinitely better. Infinitely more sort of sophisticated, you know, far more kind of multi-layered, satirical.
Yeah.
I just like it as well. Like, one thing I really do like about Ricky Gervais that I don't think people can kind of argue with, like, say what you want about his belief system, but I like the fact that he has maintained such a kind of joyfulness. He's not one of those kind of poor me comedians that you get so much. I mean, I like, and not one of those kind of poor me celebrities. Like he doesn't feel sorry for himself. He knows he's in a really fucking good position in his life, and he embraces it and enjoys it. And I think that's great.
I think if Ricky Gervais was, like, a truly, like, awful person, I don't think he would have made something... I don't think he would give to charity so much. I don't think he would be, like, such a nice guy underneath. I think he's an asshole, kind of, like, for shock value on the internet. I think he does that. But, like, I think it would... I think it would take someone, like, truly, really nice to make something like Derek.
Yeah, well, yeah, I agree. I mean, it's interesting, actually. Let's talk about Derek, because, again, that's something that a lot of people really dislike.
That's like a sweet show. I like that show a lot. It's not making... I hate when people say it's making fun. And I'm like, it's not making fun of anybody.
How is it making fun? I mean, he is a man who quite clearly has some sort of
Can we explain the premise of Derek real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Derek is a man who probably has some form of mild learning disability, who works in an old people's home, and, he's just very sweet and very sincere, and people really like him and really respond to that. And it's a nice show. Without it being hideously saccharine, although that could and has been argued that it is, the people in it are really nice and really decent to each other. And one really interesting thing Ricky Gervais said about it, which I really liked, was that, a lot of people have been criticizing his performance for being stereotyped and over the top. And, again, maybe he's not a great actor, but I've worked with people with learning disabilities who share some sort of similar physical tics with Derek.
Mm-hmm.
But what he says is that the character has to come across as peculiar. He has to be a bit scruffy. He can't be that bright. He has to have, or he can't be that attractive, because then kindness comes and trumps all that. And a lot of people are saying, well, why does he have to be all these things? And I'm like, because so often the nice characters in things are the kind of good-looking, charismatic, intelligent, attractive, charming, all those other things. And it's like, and you do have to wonder sometimes, do I like this person because they are genuinely decent, or am I excusing bad traits and forgiving them because they're TV attractive? Whereas nothing can confuse you with Derek. The only reason you like him is because he's a decent person, and I think that's a really refreshing thing.
Yeah. I think if he were trying to make fun, I mean, he would have had more bad traits than good.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
of course he has bad traits, like he's clumsy, and like, of course, like, he can't be perfect.
Yeah. He's a human being, and I think as well, like, it does slightly annoy me.
The show has characters that you're obviously supposed to like, and then it has characters that you're obviously not supposed to like.
And I mean, one of the biggest criticisms against the show is that the bad characters are kind of, they're cardboard cut out bad, but I think the whole show is supposed to be about the extremes of society, the people are extremely selfless, that do exist, and the people that are completely vacuous and shallow and nasty that also exist. These people are more complicated than that, but you do get extreme opposite ends of the spectrum. That does exist, and that's what Derek is showing.
I did like that show a lot when it first... I watched episodes of it when it first aired on British television. I watched some episodes online, but now it's on Netflix for everybody to watch. So,
I mean, so what?
I wish it wasn't on. I wish they would actually air it on television, which
instead of Netflix.
Huh?
Instead of Netflix.
Yeah, because I don't have a Netflix or anything, so I want my mom to watch it. Like.
Oh yeah. Can you not watch it with your mom on your computer?
Well, I don't have an. Well, I mean, she doesn't like coming upstairs and sitting down in uncomfortable chairs for an hour at a time.
It's online and she won't have it.
Yeah.
Generation gap. I mean, I feel like I've talked a lot about why I like Derek. Like, what is your kind of, what's your sort of take on why it works and why you like it? And
it's just like, it's like peaceful. Like, I can just sit down and watch it and not, you know, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but I don't have to think too much. Like, it's really peaceful. It's a really calming show. It's like watching, I'd say it's almost like watching, like Spirited Away. Like, it's a really calming movie. You just sit down and be like, oh, that's nice. That's really nice.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean.
It just automatically puts you in a good mood.
Yeah, it does. And Carl Pilkington is wonderful in it.
Carl Pilkington. He's actually a good actor. It's really funny.
Better actor than Ricky
He works at the old people's home, and he plays like the janitor handyman type guy, and he's always kind of grumpy, but he has a good heart, and like he's always kind of fed up with Derek, but he's like, oh well, he's a good guy, so I can't really like be mad at him a whole lot, and it's
pretty much Carl in real life, but
yeah.
It's really interesting. A lot of people have said that.
Like, he wants to be mad at Ricky, but he really can't because he's kind of a good guy.
Exactly. Like, he wouldn't have stayed friends with him this long if he was as much of a nightmare as he seems.
Yeah. I kind of wish Merchant had made an appearance somewhere in there, but...
I mean, I guess the thing is that, like, they want to be able to create things and make projects without each other. They don't want to only be
those three.
Yeah. I mean that's the thing. Carl actually is making a documentary.
I can't wait for that. It's gonna be good.
The Moaning of Life.
The Moaning of Life.
It's such a great title. Carl, because he's approaching 40, the big 40, when life begins, apparently.
What's it supposed to be about? Just him talking about stuff?
And talking to, like, scientists and philosophers.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I know. Well, of course, if you've seen... An
Idiot Abroad.
Yeah, well, An Idiot Abroad, but also him being kicked out of Will Self's house. He did a show over here, trying to remember what it was called. Let me look it up. But yeah, I mean, again, it's Carl going around talking to kind of intellectual heavyweights. And Will Self, who is an arsehole and not as smart as he thinks he is, threw Carl out for saying he wasn't sure why working out the meaning of life mattered so much, or something to that effect. And Will Self was just, his intellectual ism was so outraged by Carl even questioning.
His pretentiousness was just so...
was so shot that he threw Carl out. I mean, he is an arsehole. It's a slightly uncomfortable clip, except for the fact that everything is just kind of water off a duck's back with Carl. Like,
that's like kicking a puppy.
It's not nice, because Carl is a sweet guy and he's not stupid. He's got a lot of streetwise, and what annoyed me about it was that
I think the thing about Carl is, like, if he ever, like, sounds like he's saying something mean, he usually has no idea that it is.
Yeah, oh, exactly. I'm rarely offended by Carl's outrageousness.
Yeah.
But what I like is that when him, Merchant, and Gervais are together, it feels like three equals. Like, it never, particularly on the old radio series, it never just feels like they're kicking Carl around. Like, Carl is more than capable of giving as good as he gets. I mean, he's scorchingly cruel to Merchant.
Yeah.
About his appearance.
Yeah, they pick on each other a lot.
They really do. There's an entire video, which you should really all go out and listen to, of Carl versus Steve, which is fucking hilarious. I know I say that everything's fucking hilarious, but this actually is.
Did you ever see that video, where remember that episode where, it was Carl's screenplay, the Love of Two Brains or something like that?
Yeah.
And then somebody went out and, like, made an actual, like, little short film using his lines that he said coming out of, like, American accents.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is clearly the one that I'm thinking of, because that dialogue is so much funnier coming out of American accents, because, you know, this is a really, he has a really kind of particularly sort of English, up north, Mancunian kind of slant to his speech that just sounds so unnatural when Americans talk like that. Like,
here's some backstory. On one of the episodes, they asked him, like, if he could write a movie, what would it be? And he said he'd get, who did he say he'd get for the movie?
He'd been called into a meeting by some British film bigwigs and asked to pitch a film.
Yeah.
And
who did he say he'd get for the movie?
Okay, he said...
Rebecca De Mornay, who hasn't acted in a film in 15 years.
And Clive Warren.
Clive Warren.
It was later revealed that he had gotten confused and meant Clive Owen, but yeah, we're sticking with Clive Warren because that just sounds so kind of crappy. It just sounds like a crappy, cheap version of Clive Owen.
Clive Warren, who doesn't exist, and Rebecca De Mornay, who hasn't acted in a film in 10 or 15 years.
So, what really made me laugh was that he pitched a second film to them a few years later, starring, and the concept for the first film was basically a guy in a relationship with a woman dies in a car crash, and the woman has half of this guy's brain operated on so that she then has it in her brain. She has half of her brain taken out and half of his brain put in. So it's the love of two brains. And then the second one, the wife of Brian, a kind of out-of-work film actor.
Who looks like Tom Cruise.
Well, no.
Isn't that it?
No, sort of. He looks like... Carl, right at the end of describing the film, says, oh, he's going to be played by Ted Danson, which is fucking hilarious.
I vaguely remember this one, where it's something to do with Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is in there somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Ted Danson is an out-of-work film actor. Tom Cruise is, hugely sort of beloved.
Making Mission Impossible 7.
Yeah, or something to that effect. He dies on set at the same time as Ted Danson has a car accident. Ted Danson's brain is then put into Tom Cruise's body. You can see a running theme here. Sort of horrific body horror. But it was just the reveal of Ted Danson being the person that he was going to cast, which is just so fucking hilarious. Sorry, I've just had a text, just a distracting text, nothing of any importance.
Oh.
Apologies. It was the casting of Ted Danson that really made me laugh.
Yeah, I remember just in the first one where it's like, he's like Clive Warren, and they're like, who the fuck is Clive Warren?
Yeah. I mean, what I really like is just their kind of, how, like, openly gleeful they are about, Carl, particularly Ricky. Like, Ricky adores Carl. He loves everything he says. He loves being around him.
I feel like Ricky would legitimately make those movies just because he loves them so much.
Oh, absolutely. They bring him so much joy. And I have friends like that. I have friends that, I'm so... that, again, aren't stupid, but I'm occasionally so baffled by some of the, like, mad things they come out with. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, they are just easy targets. They're fun people to make fun of. Like, and yeah, you do just feel a certain kind of joy in their presence.
Yeah.
Like you.
Yeah, thanks. I'm that way with my brother. I just want my brother to watch things sometimes just so I can see how he reacts to them.
Well, on that note, I really want to show my mum Willy Bum Bum.
Oh, yeah! I remember that. That's old.
It's quite old now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just great. That's just the internet at its best. So you sent me a very interesting link this morning.
Did I?
You did, yeah. You probably can't remember because it was probably at about 3 a.m. for you.
What? I don't remember. No.
Okay, yeah, you tagged me in this post. Only 24 hours until Lady Gaga opens the 2013 iTunes
Oh,
Festival.
yeah, yeah. Gaga's in London right now. You should go.
I had no idea. Oh, alright, I'll just nip down, shall I, with my no money?
Yeah. Well, it's like, I think iTunes Festival is like a free thing.
Well, I'm confused. Is it the iTunes Festival? Is it streamed live on iTunes?
It's streamed, yeah.
Is
I
it
don't think
streamed?
it's streamed on iTunes. I have no idea.
But it's an iTunes Festival.
Yeah. It's sponsored by them, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. See, I like to think I have a pretty good grasp of kind of modern technology, but you've got to remember, fellow listeners, that Greer is how much younger than me are you?
I don't know. I turn 20 tomorrow.
Oh, fuck, you turn 20 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, then you're 5 years younger than me because I turn 25 in October.
Hooray.
Hooray, well, happy birthday to you for tomorrow, Greer. Are you excited?
Eh,
Yeah?
not really. I've stopped giving a crap. And I know that sounds awful, but
No, it doesn't. I think that's normal.
yeah.
For most people. I still get appallingly excited about birthdays and Christmas.
Yeah. But anyway, so really the iTunes Festival, I'm going to tell you what the iTunes Festival is, because it really is, it's live music. It's 30 days in London of live music, 30 nights of live music.
Nice.
For Lady Gaga's on the first night. Justin Timberlake is on the 29th if you want to go see Justin Timberlake.
I think you want to go and see Justin Timberlake. I'm sort of, Gaga, that'd be a great show. Justin Timberlake, fuck me.
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake, fuck me.
Yeah, really. I love him.
Yeah, really, really. Anywho,
You should go and see Justin Timberlake.
I should definitely go, and it's free.
It's supposedly.
Huh. Oh, fair play, iTunes. Good for you.
And you can watch it on the internet. Apparently they're like 1 hour, things. They're like 1 hour sets. I think on the 30th it's Katy Perry,
I mean, I have very little to add. I mean, I don't really listen to modern chart music. I mean, genuinely, my musical tastes kind of range from things that are more underground to things that came out pre-1990. And not that I'm not acknowledging there isn't lots of great stuff out there, but I haven't heard a lot of it. I don't, for example, I was told recently that Demi Lovato was going to be appearing on the new season of Glee, to which I have no opinion.
I like Demi Lovato. She was on the Disney Channel, but she's a pop star, yeah. But she actually I think she has a wonderful voice, to be honest. And she has a really loyal following. Partly because she actually did struggle with some self-harm problems and depression, and went to get help for it. And people really think she's. And it is, I think, and she's a real advocate now for people getting help for their mental disorders, so...
That's wonderful. I mean, we could always use...
And she can actually sing really well, so I think she can. I have a lot of people who don't think she can sing that well, but I think she does.
Well, I mean, she wouldn't have been... I mean, Glee certainly requires you to sing reasonably well. So, yeah, I mean, she wouldn't have been cast if she had a bad voice. I mean... I'm excited because she's been cast as Santana's new girlfriend.
Oh, really? Is that it? Dang.
Yeah, I know, right? So that should be really interesting.
It's gonna be full of stars next season.
I know, Adam Lambert.
I know.
How excited about that are you, Greer?
Well, I haven't watched Glee in 2 years, so I have no idea what's going on.
You're not gonna start watching it again?
Oh, I will, yeah. I'm gonna be really confused because I haven't watched it in 2 years.
Well, just binge on it. I mean, it's...
No, I don't want to.
Well, I was gonna say, it's not a great show, but it's incredibly entertaining.
Uh,
I'm, if I'm perfectly honest, I'm really interested to see how they address Cory Monteith's death.
yeah, like I'll probably watch
How
for that. I want to know, like, do they
about that?
kill off his character or?
Well, yeah. What's interesting is that they're going to kill him off, but they're not going to. They're not going to make it a drug-related death, which
Mhm.
originally I believe they were. They make.
That's smart.
Yeah, it is smart,
If
and
they had done that, people would have gotten offended, I think.
yeah, I think so too. I mean, they were, and I can understand this to a degree. They were going to use it as a kind of teachable moment, but I think actually, like, you can't really. I think the teachable moment is the fact that this very tragic thing happened. And I think, yeah, they'd rather just kind of celebrate his life. I think what they said was that it would be exploitative to do it any other way. And I mean, I think, yeah, you don't. It wouldn't really be appropriate or kind of healing for the fans, some of whom are quite young,
Mhm.
to have it be, a kind of harrowing, sort of melodramatic. I think it's much more appropriate to have it be celebratory.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. I think this year it seems like they're like, okay, well, we kind of screwed some things up in the past couple of years, so like let's do some cool things.
I really,
People
really
are upset because they're doing Beatles, by the way, and I'm like, they've done fucking Beatles songs before.
upset because they're doing the Beatles.
I don't know. I don't get why people are upset that they cover songs, because honestly, I think most of the kids on that show, well, they're not kids. They're older than me in high school. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I think some of those guys on that show, their voices are legit. I think Leah Michele is, like, great. I think she's amazing. I think Amber Riley is really good. I think Mark Salling is probably the best male voice on that show. Um, there are a lot of good voices. I can't think of anyone on there who really has a bad voice.
So are people pissed off because they think that the Beatles are kind of too high caliber and too good for Glee, or are people pissed off because the Beatles are old and they think
No, people
Glee's...
are pissed off because it's like, oh, the Beatles are a treasure, and I'm like, that's debatable.
No.
It's debatable. I'm just saying.
I mean, everything is debatable, apart from our own existences, and even then,
You got deep for a second.
I got existential there. So you're not a fan of the Beatles
I
then?
like the Beatles. No, I just the way people go on and on, like,
you think the Beatles are overrated?
No, I'm saying people go on and on and on about how they're like the greatest band ever and nobody will ever replace them ever in the history of the world, and I'm like, that's again debatable.
Oh no, you're right. You're right. I mean, they are great, but they've made some duds like anyone else. I mean, and
Some people will call Yellow Submarine a dud.
Yeah, some people would. I mean, it's not something that I would listen to. I mean, it's.
I was mainly talking about the movie, but
oh,
the movie
okay.
Yellow Submarine.
I haven't seen the movie. I haven't seen many of the Beatles movies, actually, if any. Maybe Hard Day's Night, I think I saw a few years ago. But, I mean, yeah, I don't think anyone or anything is irreplaceable.
Yeah.
I think everything can be bettered. Everything has the potential.
Oh, yeah, I just think, like, I mean, yeah, they are great, but the way people go on and on about them, like it's like that famous interview that John Lennon gave about how they're bigger than Jesus.
I do think they're bigger than Jesus.
People think they're literally bigger than Jesus.
Well, I mean,
like, it's like people took that line seriously, which people did take that line seriously, which is dumb.
Fanatical music fans, and to be honest, I can forgive fanatical music fans more than I can forgive fanatical Jesus fans.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what you mean. I think it is really common for people to be militant about music, almost in the same way that people are militant about religion, and to be passionate about it to the extent that they won't, you know, they're not willing to hear any kind of detractors. I mean, for instance, when I met one of my best friends for the first time, Faith, she played me Patti Smith, and I kind of looked at her really awkwardly and said, "Am I allowed to think it's a bit pretentious?" And she just looked at me and said, "No." Which, you know, I can forgive. You know, I get it. I'm passionate about stuff. I find it hard to understand sometimes why people aren't as passionate about the things that I am as I am. But
that's like our relationship.
Oh, it's exactly
that's me and you's entire like existence.
Oh, you trying to get me to watch anime and me trying to get you to listen to watch Doctor Who.
Watch Doctor Who.
Yeah, to watch Doctor Who, exactly. I mean, there will be other things. I have a feeling that Welcome to Night Vale will be my new obsession before long. I thought for a while it would be Bates Motel, which I do really like, but Welcome to Night Vale has eclipsed everything in my mind. In my mind, Welcome to Night Vale is bigger than Jesus.
Yeah. Can I just say, like, I think there are bands that are better than the Beatles.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, absolutely.
There are definitely bands. To me, I think Queen is a much better band than the Beatles. I think Zeppelin is a better band than the Beatles.
It is. I think I prefer... There are things I prefer. But whether I would say they were better or not, I don't know. Because, I mean, I suppose if you look at things from an objective standpoint, you know, the Beatles kind of... They covered a huge range of genres. They were kind of groundbreaking and experimental and all those kinds of things. I like Queen better because I really like... Queen does something to me that I can't even describe.
To be, like... And it's a weird thing to say, but I actually prefer John Lennon's solo stuff to the Beatles stuff.
I haven't heard enough of it.
I love John Lennon's solo stuff.
What Paul McCartney's solo stuff?
Paul McCartney, like, the stuff he did with the Wings, I think is very good. My dad saw Paul McCartney and the Wings one time when he was younger.
My auntie swears she saw the Beatles at the first Glastonbury.
She swears? Does she not remember?
Oh, hang on, no, maybe... Well, it just sounds like such a bold statement. Maybe she didn't say anything about the Beatles. I'm sure she said something about having been at the first Glastonbury.
Yeah.
My auntie's so cool, by the way. She was, like, a massive sort of, like, communist, like, political freedom fighter, like, back in the day, and, like... Yeah, she's just amazing. She's so cool, my auntie. It's what's so funny about my auntie is that all those things are true. She's incredibly kind of politically informed and passionate and like, but then occasionally I'll just kind of see her bumbling around looking for her Sudoku, and that's just very funny to me.
My dad says he saw Paul McCartney in the Wings when he was younger, and like, I think it was like after he had come back from being in the military or something, and he said like that was the point in time where like it was just joints everywhere at concerts. So it was when they still let marijuana inside a concert hall. So it's just like, and he says he remembers Paul McCartney saying like, if any of you are here expecting Beatles songs, you should leave right now.
Oh, well, good for him. You know, he shouldn't have to, you know, he's not under any obligation to... I mean, I think that must be a really hard thing for anyone having done something, any artist having done something kind of legendary that will kind of go down in history, is that you're almost not allowed to escape from that. People don't want you to.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, I think in the grand scheme of problems, that is probably a pretty small one.
Yeah. My mom, I think it's my mom, she says she saw... I think it was, like, Tina Turner.
No way.
Yeah. And she also says her mother went to see Elvis Presley.
Ah!
Yeah.
Ah! Fuck.
She's like, she remembers her mother telling her about Elvis Presley. I'm like, that's cool.
That's incredibly cool. Isn't your nana Russian racist?
Yeah. Let's just say that through clenched teeth.
my granddad, who I love very much, is kind of a racist. I think most grandparents are.
Yeah.
My mum has, I can eclipse everyone's stories of legendary people their parents have seen. My mum saw the Rocky Horror Picture Show when it was first on the West End with Tim Curry. She was sitting on a seat in the aisle, and Tim Curry walked past her in his high heels, entering for Sweet Transvestite. Dang fucking nammit.
I think my dad told me once that he went to a university in Alabama where, like, near it, a lot of big artists would come through on tours.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He remembers, like, all these artists that came through that he kicked himself for, like now he kicks himself for not going to see any of these people. Like, I don't think it was at the university, but he said he had a chance once where he could have gone to see Queen, but he didn't.
Oh.
And he hates himself.
Oh, Mr. Young.
It was when they were touring in the US back in it was like back in the 70s or something, when they were doing like a US tour.
If I had missed that opportunity, I would forever be kicking myself.
Oh yeah.
I saw a great Queen tribute band a few years ago in my hometown. Like, I mean, obviously not as good as the real thing, but like, I mean, I remember just seeing those songs performed live with such passion and such artistry. I felt the same kind of passion I feel when I listen to them sing those songs. I mean, it was fucking good. I wish I could remember what they were called.
Wow.
But yeah, I love Queen. God damn it.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it was back in, like, I actually looked up the tour, and it was like back in 77, and he could have gone to, when he was living in Birmingham at the time, in Alabama, he could have gone to see them. Like, he had, I think somebody invited him, or he could have gone, but he didn't. Because it was kind of back when a lot of people in America, like, thought, like, oh, you know, that's, like, really, you know, it's, like, because they called themselves Queen, like, a lot of people didn't look at them as, like, really hard rock. So he was one of those people that was like, you know, they're not hard rock, you know, Freddie Mercury, you know, look at him, and, you know, and then, like, 5 years later, he was like, God damn, why didn't I do that?
Yeah, my mum was a real kind of, not a music snob or anything, but like, she was a punk for a few years, and she was very, very kind of sniffy about Queen. She likes them now. I think what she said was that they didn't feel like real kind of pop music to her, and I think what she gets about them now that she didn't then is that it's more like musical theatre, and that's something I really like about them. I like how theatrical they are. I like the fact that they tell stories.
I think that's what a lot of people, especially in America back then, like, thought. It's like they called themselves rock, like they were a rock band, but they were like really theatrical. I think that's what put a lot of Americans off to them at first.
My feeling is that, like, I don't think we really get to say, well, that's not really that, or that doesn't qualify as that. I just think if people are doing what they love and people get to experience it and feel passion for it, then that's always good.
Yeah.
Unless what people are passionate about are Nazis.
Yeah.
And that's a firm no from my end.
Nazis or the KKK.
Nazis or the KKK, just those two things. Everything else is okay. All gets a big thumbs up from Fran and Greer. Talking of Birmingham, I wanted to compare Birmingham, UK to Birmingham, US. So I found a picture of Birmingham, UK. You find a picture of Birmingham, US, and then on 3 we'll swap.
Oh, jeez.
Huh? I
don't think you want to know.
Well, Birmingham, UK is not anything to write home about.
Alabama's not that great. That's why we moved.
Birmingham, UK is just sort of, yeah, it's a bit of a depressing shithole.
I mean, in the big in the big scope, it's like a big city, but on the outskirts is where it gets kind of shitty.
I will not eat green eggs and ham.
I'm just saying, like, like, if you look up pictures of it, it's like a big city. And then you kind of look around and it's like, oh, here are all these fancy golf courses and, you know, stuff like that.
Great, do the rest of it in rhyme.
No! Shut up.
Have you seen my picture yet?
No, I haven't.
I just sent it to you. Right, you sent me yours. Okay, let's have a look. Yours is exactly the same as ours. That's really bizarre. Yeah, are you looking at mine?
Dude, that's the exact same picture. You got Birmingham out. You're an idiot.
Shit,
you're so dumb.
I'm really stupid. Let me try that again. I thought that was weird.
Oh my god.
I thought you were supposed to be the stupid one.
You thought I was supposed to be the butt monkey?
Yeah, well, up until very recently, that was always the case.
Oh, really?
I would have said so, yeah.
Yes. See, like, I'm looking at pictures of it, and here's, like, a nice boat on a river with a bridge, and, you know, that's what I see when I see England.
Here we go. Well, this is it. This is real Birmingham. The picture is deceptive. It looks pretty nice.
Yeah, that's the same with the other one. It's deceptive. It looks really nice.
Yeah, actually, when you look closer, it's a shithole.
Like, I can show you, like, the sticks of Alabama, and you're like, oh, God.
I kind of think anything lit up at night is aesthetically pleasing. Any city lit up at night is aesthetically pleasing.
Oh, yeah. Like New York City and, you know, well, I mean, New York City's nice, but, like, you go into New York City and it's like, ugh.
Shitty bitch, there can be no denying that fact.
Yeah.
I really like New York. I want to go again.
Yeah, I'd like to go again.
I don't really think I have much else to add today, Greer, do you?
Not anything that's relevant.
No, but when is anything we talk about ever relevant?
Yeah, like, we're talking about Night Vale, and it's like, dude, that's like 2 months old, and we're like,
it's a year old. I mean, by the standards of the modern world, the fast-paced world of modern popular culture, Night Vale is old news.
Yeah.
But not to me, my friend, not to me.
Well, it's relevant to you that they just released the new trailer for Downton Abbey, the next season.
Oh, God.
The amount of people, like, really famous, like, really respected people that love Downton Abbey is, like, amazing.
The thing is, like...
J.J. Abrams likes Downton Abbey. Like, he thinks Downton Abbey's brilliant.
Who thinks it's brilliant?
J.J. Abrams.
Really?
Yeah. He's like, it's one of the most brilliant shows.
He's kind of a jackass, though. He said something that kind of annoyed me recently. So the reason I didn't like the Star Trek TV show was because it was too philosophical, and I'm like, that's what Star Trek's all about, my friend. You
made the movies.
Yeah. Hang on, wait, I didn't hear what you said there. I just went, yeah.
I said he made the movies.
Well, yeah, exactly. If he made the movies, he should have a modicum of respect for the original source material.
Well, I mean, in a way, it's like, he doesn't have to follow it. In a way.
No, maybe not, but I think people care so much about Star Trek.
People care so much about things following source material, so it's a problem.
Yeah, or I mean, I agree. I do think that is a problem.
If, I remember when the first Hunger Games movie came out, and so many people were nitpicking, like, they didn't put this in the movie, and it was in the book, and, like, they had all these lists, and I'm like, if they put in all that crap, it would have been, like, a 4-hour movie.
Hang on, which book are you talking about?
The Hunger Games.
Oh, yeah, I mean, and yeah, Harry Potter as well.
Harry Potter as well. But especially, like, so many nitpickers came out when the Hunger Games movie was released. It was terrible.
Well, my feeling is that literature and film are two entirely different mediums, and there are things that are going to work on paper that are not going to work on film, and vice versa, and I am okay with that.
Yeah.
So, boom, bam, boom. I'm an idiot today. I should not be allowed to talk.
You're pretty bad today.
I'm pretty moronic today. Well, I think the Birmingham fiasco proved that.
Fiasco, is that what we're calling it?
We're calling it a fiasco, yeah. In the context of my pathetic existence, that qualifies as a fiasco.
Jesus Christ. I think I'm gonna go out and do something today, but I don't know what. But it's it's like the heat index today is like, for the past 3 days, it's been 3 digits.
It's been 3 days of heat.
3 days of 3 digits of the heat index being 3 digits. What am I trying to say? For the past 3 days, the heat index has been over 100 degrees. That's what I'm saying.
What is the heat index? Is that a thing?
Heat index is basically how hot it feels.
Oh,
with humidity. So it's like, yesterday the heat index was like 105.
Oh, okay.
Which is a number I'm pretty sure you can't fathom, because to you, a heat wave is 80 degrees.
Oh, well, it's all about honestly, it was a heat wave, because it felt like a heat wave. It was unbearable.
80 degrees is not hot. 80 degrees Fahrenheit, that's not hot.
Hang on, what's the temperature now? I haven't been out today, so I don't actually know how hot it is outside. I'll be able to tell you whether we're having what we would describe as a heat wave. UK temperature.
Currently.
Okay, it is... Do you want Fahrenheit or Celsius?
Fahrenheit. I think we're the only country that uses Fahrenheit. It's kind of sad.
No, that's alright. We're the only country that still uses the metric system. 71 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's not bad. I wish it was 71 right now.
I mean, for England, that is pretty hot. I mean, not unbearable, like 80 or 90, but pretty damn hot.
I mean, right now, it's 84, but the humidity is at 74%.
Well, I wonder if the humidity might have had something to do with how it felt when it was, when we were having a heat wave, because, I mean, it was unbearable. Like, I was sweating like a bastard.
You guys just aren't used to heat, that's the thing.
No, we're not. I mean, what we are used to is moaning, and I, having complained fervently about the horrible weather last summer, am now counting down the seconds until autumn.
Yeah, we won't get anything under 80 degrees until, like, November.
Oh, you poor bastards.
That's just the way it is.
Are we the only country, the UK, I mean, that doesn't say fall?
Fall? I mean, it's interchangeable. Fall and autumn. We learned both in school, so...
Fall is not a thing over here. Is that because, is it because the leaves fall? I mean, where does that come from?
I don't know, I guess.
Huh.
I have no idea. They're both, like... I learned both in school. So... I guess so, like... I'll look it up. Yeah, it means, like, fall as in the leaves falling.
Knowledge of the interchangeable seasons is...
It says, some who consider British English the only true English regard fall as an American...
Hello.
as an American barbarism, but this attitude is not well-founded.
I don't know.
Is British English the only true English?
I'm of the opinion that golf carts are American barbarism, so I'm the best to ask. And on
Canadians use fall as well. So
sorry?
Canadian English uses fall as well, basically.
Canadians are essentially Americans. Dun, dun,
People will be
dun.
really happy to hear that.
Yeah, well, I can smell smoke. I'm assuming my house is being laid to siege, so I think we should probably call it a day there.
Yeah, fall in autumn. I mean, yeah, I can't wait till you come here and be like, that's barbaric. Like, it's normal.
Burning golf carts to the ground.
Yeah.
Well, I have nothing to promote. Everything I've wanted to promote, I think I have sufficiently. Yourself?
Everybody should watch next week's episode, because it's gonna be pretty cool.
What's next week? Is that the anime one?
No, shh!
Not next week. Is that the?
It's gonna be really. If you like anime, or if you don't like anime, don't watch next week. If you don't watch anime, do not watch next week.
As far as you're concerned, that's not a spoiler.
Yeah, but nobody knows who's gonna be on.
I know.
Yeah, I know you know, because I told you.
Oh yeah. Wait. I'm gonna go and figure out why I'm so stupid.
Yeah, you should go. Did Carl Pilkington put half his brain into yours? You have half of Carl's brain and half of your brain. Tale of two brains.
No, Carl could die on the set of Derek, and I could have a near fatal car accident. My brain could be operated on, put in Carl's head. Hilarity and body horror ensues.
Wow.
It's love two brains.
Yeah.
Between mine and Carl's.
That'd be pretty good.
It would be pretty erotic.
Well.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.